Hey, this is Arvin and welcome to Driven to Draw, and today I'm going to show you how to sketch this Porsche on a post-it note. So let's get started. Hey, what's up? Arvin here. Welcome to Driven to Draw. And today we're going to be drawing a Porsche on a post-it note. So let's get started. So I start off with a side view here because anytime I'm doing a side view, it's important to understand the proportions of a vehicle, or for any kind of subject that you're drawing, you should take the time to kind of measure things out. Look at your photo reference and try to figure out what is the best way to measure and just get the right proportions when you're drawing an object. So in the case of a vehicle, we always use the diameter. The diameter of the wheel is a perfect example to use to kind of space out your wheelbase. And the wheelbase is basically the distance here between your front and your rear wheel. So for sports cars, the proportions we typically use is about 2.5 wheel spacings. That is 2.5 wheel diameters between the front and the rear wheel. I've got some other videos that you can see this on some of my previous videos where you can look at proportions for vehicles, and it's laid out pretty nicely there. So once I get that, I use that as my baseline, and then I look at the height of the roof line, which is around another wheel diameter. So if you just take a couple of these circles and you just stack one circle on top of the other here, which is the wheel, then that is what I use to establish where the roof line is supposed to be. Now before I move on, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy learning how to draw many different kinds of subjects. I have learned to cultivate from a professional standpoint how to draw many different kinds of subject matter, and I started off with automotive because that is the area of my expertise, and just for the love of just drawing, I've learned to cultivate the habit of using that skill set and then using that for basically just about any other subject. Drawing is just an awesome way to release your stress and just to sort of dial down and just detox from the day or whatever it is. It's just an incredibly relaxing and meditative experience if you can get into it. So now that I've finished up the roof line and I've added some other details, we're just going to go in and drop in here the shape of the door line. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a curvature here that I want to communicate here at the door. That's just at the top of that door. And then we're going to add the side view mirrors here. One thing I want to mention is that drawing on post-its are a lot of fun. It's something that I've developed a little bit of a habit because it's so simple. Sometimes we use the excuses of not drawing because, hey, I don't have my drawing tablet or my sketchbook around, so I'm not going to draw anything. But sometimes you don't need a book. You just grab a post-it note and just start to jam on that post-it note. And because it is a post-it note and it's basically something you just throw away, you can just sketch something real quick and just dispose of it. So that's why I like the post-it notes. And it's cool, you know, this is the format. You can get something that is a wider format or a square or whatever it is. And ballpoint pens just feel awesome with post-it notes. I'm laying in some curves here, the circles here for the tires, and we'll just lay down the wheel hub. Do the same for the other side. The other thing about side views here is that it's a really simple way for you to understand the overall theme of the car that you're drawing. Everything starts from the side view. When they do car design in the industry, you start off with the side view to understand the general shape of the car and the proportions of the car before you volumize it. And so when you're practicing any kind of shape, or if you're trying to design something on your own, drawing side views can be pretty helpful. You start with a side view, and then you can do a front view, a top view, and then you can go on to your perspective. But vehicle design, or just drawing cars in general, it just gives you a really good opportunity to understand the technical details of how you lay out something before you commit, right? Because once you get into perspective, it gets pretty complicated and a little bit more challenging for you to volumize your side view. So, as I start going through a lot of these videos, what I'm going to be showing you is how to volumize shapes starting with a side view. So it wouldn't matter whether it is a car or any kind of product. It could be a mouse, and we do all these things starting with sections of your forms and shapes. And once you establish what those sections look like, you can position those sections in space and then start to connect those curves. Anyway, I'm just throwing in some reflections here on the side of the car of this Porsche. So that's how I communicate. So reflections, basically it's whatever you're seeing from the outside environment that is reflecting off of the shiny surface of this car. That can be trees, it can be other objects, it can be a mountain, it can be whatever. And as you start to flesh out and get better at drawing, especially if you like to draw cars, you can add a lot of details, and that aids and adds into the sort of artistic effect of your drawing. Reflections, learning how to do simplified reflections versus complex reflections is all part of your growth and making things more artistic. Same thing here. I've got this reflection on the glass window. All right, so I think this is done. This is about it. And so I hope you enjoyed this. We'll add this a little bit of detail here for just the pipes, exhaust pipes here in the bottom, and it'll just kind of silhouette it out. But that's about it for this drawing. So this drawing didn't take too long. That's another reason why you can do things in a post-it note, because you don't have to spend a lot of time and effort. Just get something in very quick and be done with it. So I hope you like this. We'll see you on the next episode next week on Driven to Draw. Be sure to comment below and let me know what other things you would like to see me draw, and I'd be more than happy to give you that demo the next time around. So we'll see you later, and guys, have a good week.